500. Some of these teams are barely scratching 500. I mean, we have teams in the NFC West and NFC South that are in first place right now that nobody expected to be in first place. I mean, it's madness right now going on in the NFL, but that is the great thing about the sport of football is because it is not played on paper. It is played on the football field. So with that being said, before we get into, of course, our matches for today, I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Uncle Jason out here at Imperial Kings Barbershop. Y'all do know, of course, anytime y'all are out and about and need a haircut, please go ahead and check out Imperial Kings Barbershop. Go ahead and ask for Jason. New location is at 9218 FM 529. Go ahead and give him a call at 346-355-8255. Let them know that XtalknIsh sent you so you can get hooked up with a nice haircut so you can be out here styling, profiling like your boy XtalknIsh. Okay. With that being said, like I said, let's go ahead and get into the games for this weekend. Unfortunately, like I said, Ish is not here at the moment, so I don't know all of his picks. So I'm just gonna guess some of his picks, and he'll correct me when it comes to the graphic that we'll put out on social media. So if I get some of these picks wrong, he'll correct me and we'll put the right picks up a little bit later on. Of course, as always, Mr. Fracture Wanda says go Stros. And again, like I said earlier, shout out to the Stros for winning it. Chargers in the Falcons. The Chargers come in as a 2.5-point favorite. And right on time, I knew he would show up. I knew he would because he missed it right on time, my boy. Sirion.
Right on time.
I appreciate you for joining us. I know you're just getting back from church, and
yes, sir.
A little tight for you, so I wanted to wait a little bit. Everybody's coming in at the right time. I know sometimes we be on CP time, but
Boo the Astros,
maybe we here. Ish. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to not be a hater, but
I mean, I'm not a hater.
Apparently you already starting up early this morning. It's daylight savings time. Let these Astros fans had a couple of hours of shine. You over here booing them already? Jeez.
Boo the Astros.
All right, y'all heard it here. It wasn't me this time. It was Ishmael. All right, let's go ahead. Like I said, get into this game. Ish. I don't know if this is right or not, but I picked the Falcons. Okay, see, obviously I know my boy Ish, so I'll let you take this one first, and then I'll follow up on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that the Chargers, I think I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks, they just got a lot going on at the moment. They got a lot of injuries that they're also dealing with at very specific positions. Justin Herbert just doesn't seem like the guy that we thought he was going to be this year. I think we all thought he was going to take the next step. And it just seems like for some reason that offense is just struggling. They're trying to find their way. And the Falcons are a team that they're revived. They know what they need. They know what they are. And hey, they got a plan and they're able to execute, even though they should have lost to the Panthers, but that's neither here nor there. They are leading the NFC South. And as a result, I think that they are going to come in here and be ready to play. They are going to try to send a message to the league. They're trying to send a message not only to the league, but to the rest of the NFC South. I mean, the NFC South, because if you think about it, that division is very close.
Oh, yeah.
It is very close.
In a bad way.
In a bad way. In a bad way. But either way, somebody at some point has to take. I feel like it's the same thing we said last year about the NFC East, where somebody has to take the reins and decide they want to win the division. And I just think the Falcons, I think they're going to do that today. I think they're going to do that. They're going to beat the Chargers.
And I respect that. I'll go to the comment from Fracture One. He says it got the Falcons today. He also said Allen, he talking about Keenan Allen, talking about his injury got worse during the bye week, which is weird to me. Yeah, I mean, usually, of course, anytime you have some time to heal, usually it's supposed to get any type of injury is supposed to get better. But I mean, there are, of course, things called setbacks. I mean, there are things that happen.
Let's not. Well, maybe it's too early to be calling people.
I mean, let's
all the violence.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I will say this, and I said this last season. I said this in the off season. I said this so far during the season. Brandon Staley is on the hot seat. Brandon Staley is probably not. Yeah, This team is too talented to be where they are at. And I'm not going to look, Justin Herbert, yes, is partly to blame. We're going to put a little bit of blame on him. That's fine. But there has been injuries on both sides of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And there have not, to me, I feel like there has not been any type of coaching changes within the play scheme on both sides of the ball to help out your team. I just feel like he's just going out there playing fantasy football. Let's just go out and go on 4th down because 4th and 3, the numbers say it's good. Let's go ahead and go over it. No, play smarter football. Play quote unquote old style football. Get your running game going. You cannot win games throwing the ball 45 times a game and expect to win when you're a quarterback that has not won anything in this league. I love Justin Herbert. I think he could be the next great quarterback, but you haven't done anything yet. You have not been in a conference championship game. Haven't won a playoff game, right? So why are we trying to make it seem like the Chargers should be able to get all of these leeways of, they could go for it. They have such a great offense. I mean, yeah, they can just go for it. Yeah, they do have these offensive pieces, but for whatever reason, it's just not coming together on a consistent basis. And that's what's pissing me off about this team. The only reason why I'm riding with them right now is because I feel as though this is a must-win for the Chargers.
Man, there's no reason to be riding with them right now.
In that division, I'm talking about for this game-ish. The Falcons can lose this game and still win their division. That's just how bad the NFC South is. And the Falcons, for whatever reason, they show up when they need to, and then they show up when they don't need to. And then they don't show up when they don't need to, and then they don't show up when they don't need to. It makes no sense. I know it makes no sense, but that's just how the Falcons are right now.
I don't even know what you just said.
I don't even know what I just said because that's just how the Falcons play this season. I've said that watch out for the Falcons. They are going to be a sneaky team. They have been that. But I can't wrap my head that they can still win this division. And it's not even Brady. I mean, it's easy. Brady, Brady going to come back and bring the Bucs back. No, it's really not even that. It's just, can they finish the second half of the season? Can they finish strong? That's really what it comes down to. You have veteran presence all around. You have a hell of a running back in Cordell Patterson. He'll be back this week. It really comes down to Arthur Smith. I mean, can he finish the job and help this Atlanta team win the division and make it into the playoffs? That's really what it comes down to. All right, let me get to the comment section right quick. Fracture One says Tampa Bay has to win today, or I got the Falcons for the rest of the season. I respect that. I really do. But as always, that's why they play the game. Fracture One says ish about that action today, and I love it. Go Chiefs. He also says Brendan think he's playing Madden on rookie mode. Yes, I definitely agree with
him
that.
and Nathaniel Hackett, they both are over there playing
and Lee
in the
said,
online league
don't
together.
let it piss you off, X. It's okay. Let them ride this way. Hey, I don't understand it, though. I really do not understand both of these teams, if I'm being honest. Both of these teams, I do not understand it. I'm going to ride the Chargers right now, but I am not sold on the Chargers for this game and for the rest of the season. But for this Sunday, I'll take them as a 2.5-point favorite. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Chicago. And, of course, the Miami Dolphins travel to Chicago. And before this game came about, it seemed as though the Bears were trying to have a nice little fire sale on defense. But it looked like they did help out Justin Fields with a piece from the Steelers, right? Chase Claypool is going to come in and change everything for them. No,
not
nobody believes in Chase.
No. Man, he's not that guy. He's not. I don't know what people have been watching in Pittsburgh that made them get all hyped up about Chase Claypool. And he was like,
first of all, when the last time any Notre Dame wide receiver came out, and besides Rocket Ishmael? When the last wide receiver from Notre Dame? I mean, even here in Houston,
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller. Will Fuller has not been who he's supposed to be like he was in Notre Dame. So wide receiver wise from Notre Dame, I mean, I need to figure out what's going on in the water over there because they just do not transition well over to the NFL. All right, so that being said, let me make this game very short and sweet because I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty sure you picked the Dolphins on this one.
Yeah, it's the Dolphins. I mean,
this is
anything to talk about?
It's really not. If I'm being completely honest, the story to watch for this is how many sacks would Bradley Chubb get on Justin Fields today? Because it's the debut of Bradley Chubb debut for the Dolphins today, and I think he's going to earn every bit of that $100 million contract extension that he just signed today and probably put up 3 sacks by himself. And I think with the Dolphins, with them making not just that move, but of course the move on offense as well to help out the running game as well with Jeff Wilson, it just further helps the Dolphins' case to try to make a run at a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, the Bills are still in your way. The Bills are still the team to beat in your division, and also maybe even in the AFC, the Bills and the Chiefs. It's those two, Bills and the Chiefs, Bills and the Chiefs. So until the Dolphins pull up their big boy pants and show everybody that y'all are for real in the playoffs, not a regular season, in the playoffs, right now we just have to wait and see how everything transpires regarding ranking-wise on who plays who in the first round of NFL playoffs. So Ish, your quick 2-second take on this and we'll move on.
I just want to see how Bradley Chubb looks with this team. Outside of that, I just want the Dolphins just need to come out and just perform. Just leave no doubt. I don't respect the Bears really like that. And honestly, everybody hyping up Chase Claypool. I question whether or not you've been watching football.
Yeah, let me get to this comment right quick from Fracture. He says over under Claypool has 100 yards, sir.
Now I wouldn't doubt. And let me say this real quick.
Let me say this, sir.
Go ahead.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
No.
I think they're gonna. You know what I think's gonna happen?
I'm listening to go. They're gonna try to stop the run. They're gonna throw the ball around.
No. I think that because they went and acquired Chase Claypool, they gave up a second rounder for him.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they're gonna throw all the balls to him. like let's not even lie about it.
Okay.
I think they're just gonna keep throwing the ball to him.
If that's the case, are we gonna act like the Dolphins don't have Xavier Howard and don't have defensive pieces to be able to shade over there to stop that?
I still think it's under. Listen, I still think he's under 100, but I think he's gonna get mad targets because that's like the new guy, right? Like they think that's their number one, so they're gonna try to get him all the targets in the world.
I'll let y'all know right now on Prize Picks because that's what I'm going through right now.
Here we go.
On my app, I'm just they have him at 25.5 receiving yards over under.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't doubt that he's not getting close to 100.
Let's not even act like he's getting close to 100.
There will be games later in the season where he's gonna end up getting yards because they're gonna target him a ton.
It ain't gonna be this game.
No, not this game. No,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this game. Now moving on the regular season. You know, him and Justin Fields might find some type of chemistry to where we might see 150-yard, 2-touchdown game from Chase Claypool. You know, next 2 or 3 more weeks, but not this game.
Not this game.
Fracture says 20 targets.
20 targets, 8 catches. Yeah, something like that. That's what I think going to be his new norm going forward.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. All right, this is an interesting matchup. The Panthers and the Bengals. The Panthers come off of a excruciating loss last week. Man. Jesus, oh my goodness. I mean, what a way to lose a game by trying to snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat and then finding a way to lose the game still. I don't know how you're able to come off of that emotional high, low roller coaster of an event and then having to travel to Cincinnati, take on a very scorching high Bengals offense that seems as though that they might be able to find out what works best for them on both sides of the ball. And maybe this, last week for the Bengals, maybe that's what's going to start for them to get everything going into the second half of the season. And unfortunately, I think the Panthers are just in their way when it comes to another hot performance from Joe Burrow. I expect a big performance from Joe Burrow. The Panthers, don't get me wrong, the Panthers defense is a very underrated part of their team. They have some pieces on that defense to where they can go earn contracts either with the Panthers or somewhere else. Like these are some really good guys. But as we talk about all the time, is sometimes addition by subtraction is a good thing for the Panthers, and we saw that last week, right? I mean, they were toe-to-toe with their best team in the division. They probably should have won that game against the Falcons, but you lose that game, you're still technically in the mix. Even though you have a very ugly record, you're still technically in the mix. You have a guy in PJ Walker who seems as though that it can galvanize the team, that can bring the team together and maybe make a run out of it. And if they're playing anybody else, I might pick the Panthers. But because they are playing the Bengals, I had to go with Joey B in the Bengals for this game. Ish.
Wrong. It's the Panthers. It is the Panthers today. Let me tell you why the Panthers are going to win this game.
I'm listening.
I mean, like you said, the Panthers' defense is they are underrated. A lot of people overlook the Panthers' defense, even with the record that they've had this year. The Panthers' defense has played well. They've been able to play well throughout the season. They've been doing things that you kind of like. There's a reason why people called for what's my boy name? Burns. There's a reason why they called for him. They were calling for Brian Burns. They were offering, the kitchen sink for him because my guy can play. Okay, my guy can ball. All right. Let me just tell you, there's only 2 games where they have really just given up a ton of points on defense. That was against the San Francisco 49ers, and that was last week in an overtime game against the Atlanta Falcons. I think that this defense is actually a really good defense, and Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals Monday night kind of showed a little bit something. It showed a little bit of something that we saw earlier in the season, and then I think we keep kind of overlooking. This offense is not the offense from last year. They're not clicking on all cylinders.
They are not.
They still have some problems, especially on the offensive line. They are struggling at the moment. So when you come up against a team like the Panthers, who really should have won last week, and I know what you're saying, the highs and the lows, but no chance the rapper here. Let me just say this right off the bat. PJ Walker in this offense, they have been able to put something together. They scored 34 last week, okay? They scored 21 the week before. Slowly, they've been giving him a little bit more to do, and I think that he is the X factor that has kind of turned this offense around, helped them kind of start moving. The loss of Christian McCaffrey. Deontay Foreman is a man running possessed, a man that is trying to send a message of, hey, I know I was injured early, but I am coming back and I am on a revenge tour and I'm going to run over any and everybody you put in my way. That is why I believe that this Panthers team is going to come out today and want to send a message to the NFC South that they are going to compete for the NFC South. Like you said, they are still in it. They can actually turn this horrible start around. All this chatter about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and so on and so forth, they can turn it all around and they can get back into contention for this division and possibly keep their hopes alive to make playoffs. I think if they lose here, it becomes a terrible uphill battle for them. So you've got to win to stay in it, and I think they will.
I'm just going to get to these comments right quick from Fracture Whatnot. He says Baker going to have some plays on defense after this week of practice. He also asked Baker in the XFL next year. And, of course, our Panthers fan, Dominique Powell, he says, yep, to Fracture Whatnot when it regards to Baker. Dominique Powell also says, I'm just ready for next year, but the Bengals could be in trouble today. I forgot they are without Chase. Look. Everything that everybody is saying right now is all factual on both sides. I mean, we're both not wrong. Everybody that's commenting in, you're not wrong.
No, not at all.
This game is going to be interesting. It's not, because this is not a game it's a sexy name, right? This isn't the Titans Chiefs Sunday Night Football, both teams 5-2. This is a game where if the Bengals could look back in week 16, 17, be like, damn, we let a game get away from us. That if we would have won that game, we'd be in better position right now in the AFC. That's what this game could be. And again, I think we're all on the same page when it comes to the Panthers season. It really is a wash. But because of how bad the division is, they still have a chance. And it really comes down to this middle part, these next 2 or 3 games. Depending on if they go 2-1, 1-2, 0-3, I think they start pivoting and trying to figure out what to do moving forward. Now, the last thing I will say before we move on is, the thing that pissed me off about the Panthers is that Steve Wilkes as a head coach will not get a fair shot.
No, not at all.
Unfortunately for him, he's put in a position to where he's damned if he do, damned if he don't. They can go undefeated the rest of the season, and they're still probably going to find another coach to come and replace him. It is what it is. And he can go 0-8 or 0-9 whatever the rest of the season. He's obviously going to get fired, right? Because he's literally picking up the scraps that Matt Rule left for him and trying to make a shit pie cake out of them. And it's unfortunate for Steve Wilkes because I don't think he got a fair shot in Arizona. And again, now he's here and we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to leave that alone on that one. And Fracture Walnut says, and the O-line is still just as bad as last year. He's talking about the Bengals on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's.
We keep overlooking it. But yeah, that O-line.
I don't get it. I mean, we just like Fracture Walnut talked about with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen said, I'm still not getting better after the bye week. The Bengals still ain't getting better after adding money to the offensive line.
We thought after week 1 they were going to get better, and we've seen some flashes here and there, but really,
don't understand it.
Monday night showed it. That's not better at all.
Not at all. All right, I'm assuming I'll let you go with this one is first. I'm assuming you're picking the Packers. If not,
no.
let me know.
No, I have for weeks now been putting the Packers on red alert. I've been saying the Packers have a problem. The Packers don't know their identity. The Packers are lost. Aaron Rodgers doesn't trust anyone. I don't care if they had a bye week. I don't care what, come to Jesus moment they might have had in that locker room. Until I see it on the field, I will be picking against the Green Bay Packers, because the problems that the Green Bay Packers have are not small problems that you just come in on a Sunday and you just say, just forget about it. We're going to go out there and we're going to win this game. No, the kind of problems they have are locker room core eating problems. They're the kind of problems that destroy a team. They're the kind of problems that eat a team from the inside out. They are the kind of problems that create a situation where a team has to rebuild even when they have the talent to win a division, which I thought the Packers were going to win the division coming in, but I think they are now at a point where in that locker room, until they decide we want to win more than anything else, we have to play for our pride. I think they are going to lose these games, especially games that are hard fought, tough games, which this is a divisional game. The Lions are going to be up to play for it. They're not going to come in there sleepwalking. They, more so than any other year in the past, they're going to believe they can win this game. And I think they will win this game. I think that Aaron Rodgers just doesn't. I don't think he even want to be there. Like if we're just gonna be honest, I don't think Aaron Rodgers want to be there, and I think that's one of the problems that they have. Aaron Rodgers out there on the field, and he really just doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to play with these guys. He out there looking at the receivers, dropping back, and he like, yeah, I don't want to throw to this fool, but then he just throws it to him anyway. And some of the passes you can just tell he like, all right, bro, please catch this.
I will say from the Lions from week 1, even until last week when they played against the Miami Dolphins, when they play at home, they come out guns a-blazing. They come out fast. They come out, with that belief that they can win the game. They just don't finish the game for whatever reason. They just don't finish. I agree when it comes to the Packers are not who they used to be. I don't even think the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, the Lions look at them as their boogeyman anymore. I think they look at them as another team. And okay, it's Aaron Rodgers and the crew, but who cares? We can beat them. The reason why I'm picking the Packers, though, is just because of, unfortunately, it's still the Lions. And what I mean by that is this season, they've unfortunately continued to keep showing me, as much as as everybody wants to believe in the Lions, everybody wants the Lions to try to get better, blah, 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 blah. They are still the Lions, unfortunately. And I think the Packers will find a way to win this game. I don't think it will resurge the Packers to make a run and go to the play. I don't think that at all. But for this Sunday, I think the Packers will win this game. Other than that, I mean, I agree, though. I agree. It's something going on within the Packers organization that is just not just cohesive of what they're trying to do with this season and also moving forward. Will we see an Aaron Rodgers try to find a way to get out of his contract and go elsewhere? I mean, I right now, I don't know what really happens because of the drama that Aaron has put the Packers in, not just last year, but the past 2 years in the offseason. I don't know what's next for Aaron? Like, what do you want to do? Because a lot of the stuff really is coming to, like, a lot of the stuff is Aaron doing to himself now. It's not even the Packers anymore. This is like, Aaron, some of the stuff you're doing it to yourself. Like, if it wasn't for you and your indecisiveness, you might still have Devontae Adams. I'm just saying, let's point these things out. I mean, I think the Packers organization had no problems giving Devontae Adams anything he wanted. But that's here nor there. As always, High Size 2020. Fracture one that says Lions win by 3. And I'm going to need you to stop being disrespectful, Fracture, because we are not going to put T.O. up there like T.O. is a locker room distraction, because he never was that. If anything, the people in the locker room was a hater of T.O.
Bro, it's 100% T.O.
All he did,
it's 100% T.O.
Was go out and go ball out and go do sit-ups in his driveway. Y'all gonna stop hating on T.O., okay? Y'all gonna stop it.
T.O.
Y'all gonna stop that. I tell you
that
right now.
Matter of fact, we're gonna just give it to what's his name? AB. We gonna give
AB way worse than T.O. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna you feel we're gonna put that shit on. So anyways, Dominique Pyle says Aaron Rodgers needs to be a better leader. Look, Aaron Rodgers, 39 years old. It's too late for that. You are who you are. A-Rod is who he is. There ain't no being a better leader. That's it. So he said it starts with the coach and then the QB. If you're poor in those positions as leaders, then it's a big possibility the team will be trash.
Doesn't matter the talent.
Doesn't
matter the talent. You're right.
You're not wrong. It's he's not wrong on that one at all. Let's go ahead and move forward to the Colts and the Patriots. I'll start this one off first. This was in our heyday in high school. This was one of the biggest rivalries, Peyton versus Tom Brady.
Used to be.
This was a very, very good matchup that wasn't even a rivalry until Peyton and Tom Brady made it a rivalry. And now both of them are pretty much themselves. The Colts have benched Matt Ryan. Of course, they brought him in and assuming that he was going to be the next veteran quarterback to try to lead the Colts to the playoffs.
Boy, were they wrong.
He can't even lead them to a touchdown drive. So, of course, Matt Ryan gets benched. Sam Ehlinger comes in, and he is now the starter. Played pretty well. I felt as though he played well last week. Lost by a point. But I thought he played really well. A little over more than 300 yards passing. I mean, in that game, I'm just saying, he brought a spark. He brought a spark to the offense that Matt Ryan has not been able to do. But for the Patriots, even though they still do not have consistent quarterback play right now, they still are getting consistent defensive play. And you know that's going to happen with Bill Belichick, as a team that is led by Bill Belichick. And that's really what's keeping them in most of these games. And for the Patriots, I think that they win this game at home. Again, I don't think the mystique is still there, but just the Colts are just not a good team. Ish, how do you feel about this game?
For me, I just think I'm gonna take Bill Belichick's schemes against a young quarterback, and we all seen throughout the years what the Patriots are able to do against young quarterbacks. And Sam Ehlinger, like you said, last week he played solid, but I don't think that there's anything transformative about him. I don't think that the Colts still are really executing at a level that I can, pick them against the Patriots. Now, I will give this one caveat though. I just want to throw this out there for Bill Belichick to just ponder and think about. If the offense looks crappy, you need to start Zappy.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I just think that I'm still not sold on Mac Jones. I don't want Mac Jones playing. I want Zappy out there, and that's the one thing that may cost them this game. But Bill, all you got to think about in the middle of the game, if the offense looks crappy, just play Zappy. Okay, if you just follow those words, trust in those words. You will be successful, Bill. You will be successful. I will tell you right now, you will make the playoffs this year if you just trust in those words, all right? As you go to bed, you should just think about it. When you wake up in the morning, just think about it. Before you go out on the field, think about it. As you watch the game and call plays, just think about it. If the offense looks crappy, just play Zappy.
You already know what Bill Belichick thinking about, right? On to Cincinnati. That's all Bill Belichick, man. On to Cincinnati. Okay. We on to the next team. We ain't worried about no Zappy. We ain't worried about Tom Brady.
Y'all better be worried about Zappy.
On to the next team. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this game, and then we'll get into, if I was a betting man, the Bills and the Jets. And I'll let you start this one off first because you've been very high on your Jets all season long. They are a 11-point home underdog against the Bills. So I need to hear your spill first on this game before I get into it.
No, they deserve to be 11-point home underdog. I think the Bills do well what the Jets struggle against, and that's they can't block pass rushers, good pass rushers. And I think, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle. Also, without Breece Hall, James Robinson is coming in with his knee injuries, and he's up and down. I just got a notification that they deemed him healthy. So it looks like he's going to play in this game, but I just don't know until he really hits the ground running, starts playing a little bit more, gets, ingrained in that offense. I think that offense is still going to sputter a little bit because they don't have the same rushing attack that they did with Breece Hall, which is what was helping to, propel that offense and make them perform a little bit higher than expected. So I think they're going to struggle a little bit against the Bills. There's no shame in it. The Bills are a really good team. They're a top 2 team in the conference, if not the league at the moment. So yeah, I think, hey, they're going to lose the game today, but that they shouldn't get their heads down. They just need to keep moving forward, building on the right things so that they can compete for a playoff spot, wild card spot later in the year.
This might be one of the bigger upsets of the season if the Jets are able to pull this up. I don't think it would be the biggest. I think it'll be one of. Let's be real. This is a game that the Bills should take care of business. If the Bills don't take care of business, we're gonna have to look at them a little side eye wise. But the Bills are just firing all cylinders right now. The only team that can stop the Bills are themselves at this moment. I mean, it's really them. It's up to them to make sure that they are able to have the AFC run through Buffalo. They've already, of course, won the head-to-head matchup against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. So it's on them to make the Super Bowl run through Buffalo, and they have to take care of business here. That's what good teams do. Good teams beat bad teams. Yep. And we go on to next week of Week 10, and we'll check back in with the Bills. But there should be no reason why the Bills lose this game. Fracture says Zach Wilson playing for Gisele Bundchen's Jets won't win, but cover the spread with that motivation. Yes, we know Zach Wilson has that dog in him, so wouldn't surprise me at all if he's in the DMs. All right, let's go ahead and move on to If I Was a Betting Man. We have picks.
You took a week off. Hopefully, you come back, revitalized from your bye week.
Y'all see how Ish is like on y'all bus right now? Because right now,
able to get your funds up a little bit.
Yeah, you can't lose money if you ain't bet money, right?
That's right. You're able to get your funds up a little bit. Yeah. Come back on the second half of the season.
Anywho, Ish out here with the jokes. That's hilarious. We'll go ahead and get into the Prize Picks promo code. As always, if y'all want to join us on Prize Picks, you're more than welcome to use this promo code PR-JVA61PN for my people that's tuning in on the podcast. You're more than welcome to check us out, like I said, on Prize Picks. And the picks I have right now, I have my 4-player parlay. I have Sam Ehlinger, who I just spoke about very highly, going over 195.5 passing yards. I also have A.J. Dillon going over 38.5 rushing yards. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, of course, will be playing against the Chicago Bears defense, who are having a fire sale. And I expect Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to continue to do what they've been doing. Tyreek Hill over 88.5 and Jalen Waddle over 68.5 receiving yards. Okay. I was looking into A.J. Dillon's rushing numbers and whatnot, and he averages 4.5 yards per carry. He's going to get at least 9 or 10 rushing attempts. I don't see why he doesn't get to that mark. Sam Ehlinger, again, I think he has a decent game against the Patriots. Don't get me wrong, the Patriots defense is a lot better than the Washington Commanders, but I think he at least hits that 200-yard threshold. And Tyreek Hill and Waddle, I mean, it might just be a field day with both of those. We saw last week, obviously, Tua it seems as though he's back, right? It seems as though he's able to get the ball out to the guys that he needs to get them out to. and that offense is back to where it needs to be. And I'm thinking that the same thing is going to continue to happen. It's not going to be too windy in Chicago. Weather should be fine, so the ball should be out there being slang. Fracture Runner says, what's James Robinson's numbers for the Bills? Don't matter. Take the under. I'll check it out right quick. But in the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and move on to the next game that we have on the slate. And just to give y'all a heads up, we do not have too many games this week.
No,
a lot of teams are on bye week. We actually have let's see, if I can find the bye week slip. There we go. We actually have 6 teams on bye weeks from the Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, and the 49ers. So if you're thinking that where are all the games at today? So it's the reason why we don't have all the games, because everybody's on bye weeks right now. So middle part of the season, probably the best time to have a bye week. Get everybody back healthy once again, so you can make that second half run. I hate, as a Titans fan, how we have an early bye week. I don't really care too much for that, but
joke's on you. We're a second half team.
Yeah, joke's on me. All right, Vikings and the Commanders. Of course, Captain America takes his 6-1 record into his old stomping grounds. And I'm assuming, I could be wrong-ish, but I'm assuming he's going to like that a little bit in Washington. And I think he's going to take care of business. It's not too much for me to say. Kirk Cousins he's going to do what he's going to continue to keep doing. And I'm hoping, because I have him on my betting slip, I'm hoping that he can continue to keep on making this MVP type like run and be able to host the MVP trophy at the end of the season at the NFL honors.
Yes, sir. No, stop that. Stop with that. Don't even start that nonsense around here.
What?
Talking about MVP. Kirk Cousins is no MVP. He's the only MVP he is he's MVP in his mother's heart, okay? In his mother's heart, he's the MVP. And Kurt, you should like that, okay? Because I know that you love your mama and you want your mama to have you as MVP, but you know what? You might not even be the MVP for your mama, because it might be Mr. Danny Dimes. But let's go on. Anyway, the Vikings gonna win this game. There's not much to say here. He's gonna go over there. I'm just hoping that my brother RG3 ends up getting some part of the ownership when the Commanders are sold, because my man needs to sell the Commanders. He doesn't need to be an owner in this league anymore. Shoot, RG3, hit me up. I want to be part of that ownership group. Even if I chip in, $20 or something, you can carry me the rest of the way, and we'll be all right. But yeah, nothing to say about this game. Vikings gonna win this. Vikings very much so ready to wrap up that NFC North pretty early on in the season, and that'll be good for them. So.
You're not wrong with everything you said. I actually was looking up, but Fracture One asked about James Robinson's numbers for the Bills. Unfortunately, they do not have his numbers on Prize Picks. That's the difference between Prize Picks.
Dude, take the under on James Robinson until he plays games.
I'm letting y'all know you can't bet on him through Prize Picks, but I'm assuming you can bet on him through, of course, other MGM and Draft Picks and all the DraftKings and all that. You can, I'm pretty sure, have a bet on that right now. Prize Picks, they only allow picks on active players. If you're questionable or out, of course, they won't allow you to bet on those. So right now, there are no numbers for that. Fracture One also says, I think Kurt gonna fumble this one trying to stick it to the Redskins. My bad, the Commanders. First of all, you already know good and damn well what you did, Fracture. Don't be saying, "Oh, the Redskins, they're my bad."
You know what you did.
You know what you're doing over there.
You know what you're doing over there.
He over there hopped up still on the Astros victory. He's still sipping on them champagne, and that's what it is. They putting champagne from last night into their mimosas this morning. That's what they doing for them Astros fans. That's why they still litty. They don't know what they talking about over there. They too litty right now. All right. Raiders versus Jaguars. Not too much to talk about. Two bad teams fighting to be not as bad as the other team. Ish, I didn't get your picks. I'll let you go first on this one.
They're two really bad teams. I could really care less, and I don't think anyone can really accurately predict this game because both of these teams are absolutely crazy. They don't know what they want to do. One week they want to play football, the next week they want to come out and just run around on the field, and I don't know if they actually playing the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Jaguars, only because the Jaguars have shown a little bit more throughout the season. But I very well am aware that the Raiders could come out and lay a whooping on the Jaguars. I don't know. The game's not in London, so that's the one caveat I'm gonna put out there. The Jaguars gonna probably lose because it's not in London. But on top of that, they both are bad. I don't know what else to say about this game. There's really nothing. You know what I hope to see? Let me talk about what I hope to see.
What do you
I hope to see some progression from Trevor Lawrence, okay? I hope to continue to see that progression. I hope to continue to see Travis Etienne blossom into the star that he has become for the Jacksonville Jaguars, mainly because I own him in fantasy. I hope to see the Raiders show something. I'm not even saying something great or something good. Just show something, please. Be a team. Be out here in the game, because as of right now, you've just been bad.
No, I mean I 1,000% agree, especially with Trevor Lawrence. Of course, you bring in, head coach to come in and try to revitalize the quarterback position. Doug Peterson, of course, is a quote unquote quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer, whatever you want to call him. The beginning of the season, it looked promising, right? The Jaguars kind of looked like they were going to maybe, turn it around this season. You have a young squad. You went out in the offseason, made a lot of roster changes with money, and maybe the Jaguars could compete in the AFC South. And boy, how quickly things have turned. 2-5 at the moment, and just not what they all wanted to be, as in the Jaguars. I wanted to pick the Jaguars this game, but you missed out on your London game last week. That was the game you're supposed to win. That is your home game. You should have won that game. I don't believe in the Raiders. Look, I don't believe in the Raiders either. I don't even know why I'm picking the Raiders. But like you said, I don't know about both of these teams that just continue to keep blowing my mind, because I don't know what the hell I'm going to get from both of these teams week in and week out. Same thing with the Panthers. Same thing with the Bengals. Same thing with the Falcons. Same thing with the Chargers. Like, some of these teams, I don't know what the hell y'all are doing every week. So for this week, I'm going by default. I'm going with the Vegas Raiders. But I'm not confident at all in this pick. So
I don't think anybody can be.
I'm leaving it
unless you play for these teams.
Probably. All right, let's move on to the West Coast, the Arizona. The Cardinals coming in as a 1.5 point favorite. I'm thinking I know what direction Ish is going with this, but I'll let him start off with this one first, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm picking the Seahawks. I am picking the Seattle Seahawks because the Arizona Cardinals right now, they're a team that just can't find their way. They're a team that they're working really hard. They're trying to, come out here and compete in these games, but they can't. They can't compete in the games. Let's just be honest. They're off. They have been off since the beginning of the season, and they haven't really recovered. And even with the reintroduction of DeAndre Hopkins, it hasn't been very convincing. We've already seen the frustration.
Are you sure? You sure about that?
Yeah, it hasn't been very convincing.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins numbers-wise since he's been back.
I'm not saying DeAndre Hopkins isn't balling. I'm saying that the team hasn't been convincing. It's not like they turned it around.
Touche.
I mean, they beat the Saints. They lost to the Seahawks already, 19-9, and then they lost again to the Vikings. They beat the Saints. Is that what we're saying? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this team is. They beat the Raiders, the Panthers, and the Saints. Those are their 3 wins.
We've talked about this for the last 2 years about this Cardinals team. What are they going to do in the second half of the season, right?
Lose.
Because they always find a way to nosedive and fuck it up, right? Maybe it's the opposite this year. Maybe they might make a run, right?
You would hope.
That's the only reason I'm picking the Cardinals. I believe in the Seahawks way more than I believe in the Cardinals. I'm letting you know right now. Geno Smith, not just, like I said, comeback player of the year, put him in the MVP ranks. I just feel as though for whatever reason, this is going to be the trap game. I think this is going to the divisional game. The Cardinals are at home. I think Kyler Murray finally has a security blanket, and that bad little toddler is going to find a way to show folks why he is obviously in the league and why he got the contract that he got. I think overall the Seahawks as a whole is a better team. But I want to see the matchup with DeAndre Hopkins and that rookie cornerback from UTSA, Mr. Tariq Woolen. I want to see that matchup because if he's going to follow Hopkins all game, we'll see how that play. If Hopkins can get the better of him, I think the Cardinals win this game. The Seahawks for the last 6 games have been able to have multiple turnovers. If they continue that trend, the Seahawks win this game pretty easily. But if the Cardinals can come in and play some sound football, do not turn the ball over, and play your game plan, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Cardinals for this week. All right. Before we wrap it up for the rest of our games for today, let's get into Don't Be Upset. Now, Ish, if you don't mind, type in the private chat your teams that you have for Don't Be Upset. For myself, I have the Rams over the Buccaneers. I'm picking the Rams to upset the Buccaneers. Now, both teams are not where they probably should be, but I think the Buccaneers are a little bit more of a hotter area than where they should. So I'm going to go ahead and have this Rams team come into Tampa Bay, take that cross-country flight, and pull off the upset against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and for me, I got the Panthers over the Bengals. I already talked about it. I think that the Panthers are going to win this game. I think that they've got all the pieces in place. PJ Walker is a guy that is playing for an opportunity. He's playing for a shot. He needs a shot, a real shot. This is, I think, only because Steve Wilks is trying to give him that opportunity. I think if it was any other coach, they would have played Baker Mayfield as bad as Baker has been, or Sam Darnold. But PJ is getting this opportunity, and so far he's been, doing a solid job. So I think he's going to continue that, and I think Panthers going to win this game.
I respect that, sir. I respect that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. Like I just said, Rams Buccaneers. I had my spill with the, of course, Don't Be Upset topic. I let Ish start off first, and I'll wrap it up, and then we'll go on to Sunday Night Football.
Yep, I got the Rams. I've got the Rams. I think that the Rams are going to beat the Buccaneers. This Buccaneers team, they're struggling at the moment. They can't block anybody to save their life on the offensive line. This is the worst team to go up against if you can't block anybody. We all know who they have. Not only Aaron Donald, they also got Von Miller. I don't know. I don't see a way the Buccaneers win this game. Other than the Rams are struggling on offense themselves. We still are looking for Allen Robinson. I don't believe he actually signed for the Rams. I think that maybe they signed him because they didn't want him to go anywhere else. They weren't actually planning on using him. They just thought like, hey, it'd be really cool if we get this guy so no one else can get him, and then we'll just bring him, and Matt Stafford will never throw him the ball. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel for the Buccaneers from that standpoint. But honestly speaking, I think the Rams are going to win this game. I don't even see the Buccaneers competing really.
I respect it. Like I said earlier, when the guards of Tampa Bay, they just have a lot of issues, even though it seems as though you still have that core from the Super Bowl run, just not the same team as we heard. Of course, Todd Bowles talked about just a couple weeks ago. If you still think this is a Super Bowl, or you still think living in a fantasy world regarding the Super Bowl, you need to get out of it, because this is what the team looks like now. We need to get this, taken care of now. So let's go ahead and move on to Sunday Night Football. Now, this is an interesting game for me because not just, of course, obviously I'm a Titans fan. Forget all that. Ish, can we look at the line right now? Can everybody that's tuning in, can y'all see this? Can y'all see this line? The Chiefs are a 12.5-point home favorite over the Titans. Now, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Ish, this is disrespectful as fuck.
Is it?
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna leave it alone. And I'm just gonna say I have the Titans winning this game. I'm gonna leave it alone just like that because, 12.5 point favorite. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. Ish, take it, sir.
I have the Chiefs winning this game because I think that the Chiefs, they realize what they need to do against a great team in the Titans. I think the Titans are a team that they're doing what they do best, running the ball. They're starting to come into themselves again. They had a slow start, but they're returning to the Titans we all know and love that run the ball hard and play great scrappy defense. So I do think it's going to be a good hard fought game because the Titans always play the Chiefs really well. But I expect the Chiefs to win this game because I think that the Chiefs at the moment, they're coming off a bye week. We all know what Andy Reid is like off a bye week. He's able to come out. He's probably put in some new schemes, new ideas, had some time to really think about ways to pick apart this Titans defense. And I think that they will try to find a way to do that. The only thing is if they don't stop the run, that's the biggest risk for them, right? They got to be able to stop the run because Ryan Tannehill, even if he plays, his ankle is not 100%. Mm-hmm. And if Malik Willis plays, you just got to put pressure on the rookie and make him make a play. Mm-hmm. Stop the run so he has to make a play. But the one storyline that I really want to talk about really quickly, I just want to throw this out here. Mr. Adam Schefter, you, sir, are messy as hell because Adam Schefter tweeted out this morning, new Chiefs wide receiver Kadarius Toney has recovered from a grade 2 hamstring pull he suffered in week 2 while playing for the Giants. He could have played for KC last week, but the bye week gave him one more week to get healthy and will be active tonight versus the Titans. Now, if you have not been following the story of Kadarius Toney and him being injured for the Giants and not being able to play, we all know that that's some shade that Adam was throwing at my man, okay? Because Giants fans have been crying since the trade went down. This man was not hurt. He just chose not to play for the Giants, okay? And everybody knows that this guy is electric. He is electric. And you're adding yet another piece to this Chiefs offense that I think Andy Reid has had an extra week to figure out how to get him involved. I expect him to have a great game. I expect him to come out and make an impact. And I expect us all to be talking about why this man did not play since week 2.
I will say this. If you're somebody that have watched football for a very long time, you know about Andy Reid's record after a bye week. It is a real thing. Whatever Andy Reid does during a bye week, it obviously works. He's been doing this since Philadelphia Eagle days, and he has an amazing record. Right now, I want to say 14-2, 14-3,
so, something like that.
It's something of that line to where he does not really lose too often after a bye week. Besides me going with the Titans because of my heart, I'm mainly going with this because of out of disrespect. But what Ish is saying as well too when it comes to Toney being in there. I mean, the Chiefs are going to have some weapons, obviously, and they're going to continue to keep doing what they do. The difference between the Titans and the Chiefs is that when you have a premier wide receiver leave your fucking offense, the Chiefs continue to pick up where they are at and keep going and keep doing what they do. Tennessee Titans offense have not been the same at all since A.J. Brown has left. It is what it is. And like Ish said, if the Chiefs are able to stop Derrick Henry, it's going to be very hard for the Titans to win this game. It is what it is. So if the Titans are smart, you're going to, of course, keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, run the ball, play sound defense, create turnovers, and you have yourself a chance in the fourth quarter. If you don't do that, this game will be a 12.5-point blowout for the Kansas City Chiefs at home. So, as always, Ish, we do this pregame show to talk about the games, of course, to then watch the games and have ourselves looking like idiots because we'd be like, that's not what we thought was going to happen before the game. But that's why they play the game, right? So, as always, we will see y'all on Tuesday for Week 9 recap and also for the first half of the season recap. We'll recap the first half of the season going into the second half of the season. We will have some special guests. And as well, we'll just recap, of course, obviously what we've seen over the first 9 weeks of the season, and can't wait to see y'all there for our Tuesday recap. And as always, if y'all need anything, y'all know y'all more welcome to hit us up at XtalknIsh. And for my Houston fans, my Houston Astros fans, go get y'all some rest. I know y'all tired. I know y'all happy about your struggle. Go get y'all some rest. I know the Texans played on Thursday. I ain't got to worry about watching no football right now, so just enjoy yourselves. Go enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the parade on Monday, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday. XtalknIsh, 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, 10 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. You know,
something like that.
Yeah, there's something like that. Y'all know what time it is. Go ahead, reach us on Tuesday. See y'all next time.
Peace.